Practice versus partying. You see, between the ages of 15 to about 4 years old, I was a big time partier. The reason I love to party is I believe that enjoying life and having tangibles. At the point, I think I was 21 years old, I told myself, can I have fun without drinking? And I told myself no. And I was a severe alcoholic and loved to party and do drugs. That's the life I had between the ages of 20 and 40. What I realized is that if you practice at something, you get really good at it. It could be practicing partying or practicing at getting better at yourself. This last weekend, I went to Santa Monica Pier and I passed by the Mecca Fitness, where Arnold's backyard and every health and fitness expert goes down there to show off their badass self. As I realized I was getting to the actual pier, there's one side of the pier called the partying section. Everyone's always partying, eating, drinking, and loving life. You could literally see the people that are partying. It shows because whatever you do in private will actually show in public. Then you get to the other side of the pier where everyone's just practicing headstands, handstands, push-ups, sit-ups, climbing the rope. That station is the practice station. And that's where we were. We are warriors, we are spirits, and we have the human body, which is an adaptable creature, can adapt to heat, weather. It's the most adaptable creature in the world. So what I realize is that in my life, the first 20 to 40 years, I didn't know myself, so I was looking for things to make me happy. So I party, thinking that things would make me happy. What I realize is that you don't need things. All you need is yourself, these two hands, the 2 feet that will take you toward your destination in action or make you want to push, pull, and move forward in life. So, if you want to get better at anything in life, you must practice. Practice. 10,000 hours of practice. Why I tell you this is that at the age of about 35 to 38, I cut all my friends that partied. We had a thing called a 5150, the clinical term for crazy. I had about 3 to about 12 girlfriends that loved to go out and party. We were all single, looking for Mr. Right and also Mr. Right now. I was looking for Mr. Right, and I realized that one of my girlfriends that I hung out with, she had no values or rules. Every time we went out somewhere, she did something to harm herself and our people in our group. And I realized is that every weekend as she drank and did drugs, she would actually harm our actual tribe of ladies. So I started writing these rules. Hey, you know what? Listen, let me write these how to build your self-esteem and how to be a warrior. Rule number 1, rule number 2, rule number 3. Rule number 1, I always told her, hey, make sure you're always protected. Safety first. And I had these rules. Number 1, make sure that if you're going to have sex, make sure it's protected sex. Rule number 2, if something's going crazy, yell to your neighbor 5150. You know what that is? It's a clinical term for crazy. And I started writing all these little 10 rules so she could follow them so that you can have some kind of guidelines. And I gave her the rules and I told her, if you don't have any guidelines or rules, you're going to suffer in life. So now, 9 years later, I have been practicing. I've been sober. I have stopped partying and practicing more. And I realize that I am getting better and stronger and more mobile, more flexible and healthier every age that I get. I look back in my life and I had a friend of mine that asked me, hey, where's so-and-so? I call her 5150. Or like Pink Floyd say, Crazy Diamond. How's Crazy Diamond do it? Well, she just broke again. She had texted me on Facebook saying she sounded not so good. So she had a baby, unfortunately, and she still does drugs. Every 2 or 3 years, she goes down and up, down and up, down and up. Unfortunately, if you don't master your habits, emotions, and your body, the habits and emotions and body will handle you. And that's the true fact. So going down to Venice Beach Pier in Santa Monica is a constant reminder of all the people that are partying. They're living on the streets, they're sleeping on the streets, or they're eating and they just cannot stop. Then you got those people that practice. They also love to eat, but they also have dedication and have the discipline and have the principles to do the right thing when no one's looking. There's a wonderful book that I'm going to recommend. It's called Don't Eat the Marshmallow Yet is a great book to have. This book has shown that they put a bunch of kids in a room They gave him a marshmallow and said, hey, I'm going to be back in 10 minutes. Don't eat it. If you don't, I'm going to give you 2 marshmallows. So some kids ate it. Some kids didn't. Some little girl kept smelling it. She had little white stuff on her nose. Like I say, sugar, crack, cocaine. That little girl got the inside of the marshmallow, squeezed the inside, left it there. That girl should definitely be in politics or in the banking system, right? Anyway, what they showed is, one, the kids did not eat the actual marshmallow. They actually removed the kids that did eat it, and they gave the kids that did not eat it 2 marshmallows. Then what they found out is that they followed those kids through the entire lifetime, and that they did research that kids that did well mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually actually did very well, because they ended up holding to self-gratification the longest. So this story about practice versus partying is those that can endure pain, that can hold off to self-gratification the longest, do very well in life. I tell you this because when I was a real kid, I loved the stars. I loved to be, I love to have a perfect attendance. I always can hold off to self-gratification because I was a nerd. I liked the stars. And I was kind of a teacher's kiss ass. I didn't get the attention at home because there was problems at home. So I just gave my best and I got the attention from my teachers. So that's the story of practice versus partying. Are you a partier? Do you want to practice? Well, I can share with you that, you know what? You can be disciplined, you can work hard and enjoy yourself and give yourself the permission to enjoy and indulge at the end when you deserve it. If you're looking for a group of warrior women that want to actually get better, I have a Get Me Better challenge. Hit this button or RSVP so you can find out what's your greatest asset, how I can help you unlock the greatest challenge. And of course, the reason is I can make sure that you practice versus partying, and we'll give you a mapping tool so that you can succeed and that you can stop partying and practice so you get that best vehicle of your life. Coach Irma says, yes, you can.